Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's another interesting episode of Just a Chat with Bunmi Alabi. First of all, happy new month to you all. Yes, it's the second half of the year again, and wow, 6 months is just gone like that. But we thank God for the grace and mercy of God that sustained us to see the second half of this year. And I pray that the Lord who saw us through in the first half will see us through in the second half as well too, in Jesus' name. So you're welcome to this episode of Just a Chat, and I'm glad to have my friend, my bestie, my lady Avalon, aka Ewagoi, spot on mainland, number one Ewagoi Ewagoi supplier. Yes, so. See as she dey fresh now. You said you don't even know whether our beans is expensive or not. Because you be eating me.
I don't know to in mind that beans expensive.
It's expensive. But we have to eat beans now. We be eating rice. You know me, I used to like beans, but I had to just reset my love for beans. As when this price
More expensive.
than rice. Yes, 200% increase.
Also,
how have you been?
How have I been coping?
Yes, now.
At times in life, what I do is I don't try to think of what is happening. I just feel that I just have to move. But try to go on with what's happening. They're going to lose your customers. I've been actually going to changing my beans because of the prices.
As the type of beans you are using.
That Nigerian economy has a way of changing your business. If you're not smart in the business, you're going to lose your customers. Then when the price fall back to the normal price, how do you get those customers? You have to be wise. It's Nigeria. So God has been helping me all. That's really good. That's been God all the way.
Wow.
It's only been sorry, like I was gonna say the pepper that we use. Yeah. The last time I bought the pepper was about 3,000.
But people are they are finding alternative to tomatoes. But beans pepper. The seed. From how much? It was 3,000 or thereabouts. It is well. They would just be eating beans with oil now. Palm oil. Yes, I remember then my mom used to give us beans and palm oil, and it used to be sweet now. Just sprinkle salt on it. As much as you don't believe for. It is we shall go chop. We must chop anyway, anyhow. You're welcome. And on my right hand here, I'm super excited to have this amazing soul here. His husband has been here once, and I said, see, your wife too has to be on set on Just a Chat. Please join me as I welcome Mrs. Abiola Fawole.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you here.
It's been a wonderful time here.
Yes, we'd love you to introduce yourself properly.
All right. Thank you very much, Mrs. Alabi. This is a wonderful program. I am Abiola Fawole. I am a preschool guru. I work with 0 to 10, and that's what I have passion doing. And I aside other things that I do, but I put my passion mainly in that. And over 2 decades.
On that age range, or you are not planning to?
No, just that age range, 0 to 10. And then
why did you choose that?
That's a formative years for me. And growing up, I've learned something that whatever you do and the foundation is faulty, it takes longer or bigger efforts to correct later. But when you are able to achieve it at the formative years, then you can be rest assured as they grow that things will be better with them. And we've done this for over 2 decades.
Wow.
And I'm so proud that I have testimonies, people that have jackpot to Canada, UK.
Your students and your pupils.
Yes. Wow. So, and I get calls. Even before we started at school, I've worked in places too. And then I see those children, and then I'm so happy. Recently, I met somebody that just parked beside me. Okay. His name is Timilei Unikbedi.
Okay.
I taught him when he was in nursery 1, and I taught him when he was in primary 1. I'm talking about maybe close to 20 years now.
Wow.
And that day, he just parked beside me at Labak Estate, somewhere in Abulegba there. So as I was like, who is this? So he came out of the car, and he greeted me properly. And I was wondering, by the time I saw his face, of course, I don't forget faces. So I'm like, I called him and I called the surname, Timileyin Onipede. So he jumped on me and he's finishing now at a Lead City University. And then, the way he spoke with me and everything, people that were even around, they were wondering. And I was so proud that this is one of my products that I have taught. So when I see things like that, it gladdens my heart. And that is where my passion is. That's what I do.
Wow. I love that the niche you carve for yourself, because for 20 years, doing something, the same thing for 20 years, not that you didn't want to take it further, you understand, but you just believe that, okay, you want to focus your attention on that formative age. It's quite interesting, because honestly, that age, any child that can get it right at that foundational level, as in, I'm sure any other challenge that come across the way of that child, because the child has already built a very good structure from the onset, and that's one of the help that some of our teachers, as in people who are in the educational sector, can really help the parent to do, some things that the parent cannot do themselves. The school they go to, the teacher, school, home is not the only place where a child can learn. School also is another place where a child can learn.
Sure.
So, now focusing your attention on that age is quite interesting, and I really give it up to you. And I'll be visiting your school one day, and I think you should just take note of that too.
All right.
It should be one of.
I'll be glad to have you.
Yeah. But what's the name of the school?
Core Values Foundation School.
Foundation School. Okay, where is that place located?
In Abulegba, Santos Avenue.
Santos Avenue, Abulegba. Wow. And I would have loved to bring my children if you were living here around that during that time, when they were still in primary school. Yes, because I believe in building a proper structure for. Yeah. It's key. Wow. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
That's why we're having you here today, so that at least you can give justice to this. And it's very, very rampant. It's very common. And before we just go on, I would just like to read this report of someone. We saw it online, and I was like, okay, I think we need to discuss this on our platform. Let me just quickly read it. This is an assessment card of an adult whose mom saw the assessment card and showed him, and he see what your teacher wrote about you many years ago. The person is like, should be in his maybe late 30s by now or thereabouts. And so listen to what the report says. The teachers wrote, he cannot count 1 to 10. And this is not 1D. The teacher's comment, he cannot count 1 to 10. He cannot read letters. His formation of patterns is improving. He finds it difficult to read letters. He likes reading poems, and that is a bit contradicting. Somebody doesn't know how to read letters, and you're saying you can read poems. In fact, that teacher said, his reasoning, our reasoning level should be questioned. You say a child cannot read letters and he can read poems. Shouldn't that tell her something?
You can recite.
I was going to allow her to finish so that I will not
analyze it, and the teacher so I can analyze. Maybe we are the one not getting this right. So he said he likes reading poems. He has problem in speech. He does not like painting work. He's not very creative. And he said he has interest in, but we can't see that one. So as a teacher, so this assessment, first of all, let me even ask Avalon, as a parent, you understand? If your child brings this kind of assessment home, how would you respond to it as a parent?
Okay, maybe before going into the educational line, I'll feel bad. Somehow, why am I saying that? Because that is what I expect as a parent. That's what I expect my child to be able to do. I feel like,
and that's what you are paying for.
And that's what I'm paying for. And I feel like my child should be able to get it right. As a normal parent, that's probably I am before. But being in the educational line, being trained or having an understanding of what a child is, I would not see this as a totality of my child.
Okay.
I will see it as that is a teacher's opinion. Understand? That's the teacher's opinion, that's the school's opinion, and that is not what forms my child. Then I'll sit my child, because for me as a mother, I actually know the capacity of my child.
Okay.
So if I get this kind of reports, I would have an understanding that this is the school's opinion about this child, and I am able to discover his own potential and see what how I can help him. So somehow I will not allow it
to get into you.
To get into me.
Okay.
As a trained parent.
Okay. Thank you very much. Before I allow our guests, we are going to do more justice to this, but I want to speak the mind of some average parents. I've seen a parent whose child brought a result home, and I think the child wrote put some comments there that you can't do this, you can't do that, and the teacher went back to school and started querying the school that, what did I pay you for? I paid you so that my child can read this, can learn, so what are you now doing? You understand? So now, as an educationist, so is it right? Does teacher have the absolute control over what the child learns, or and that's the first question. Then second one, is it right for the teacher to put this kind of results? Because it might be the real thing. It looks realistic, maybe what the child is going. Is it right for the teacher to put this kind of a thing in the report for a child?
All right. Okay, let me take it first from the first question.
Okay.
Whether the teacher has the totality of that child.
Of the child's performance,
right? Yeah. I'm a training consultant as well. Okay. And when I go to schools to train teachers, one of the things I emphasize, I have my own words that I use, that there is no dull child except a dull classroom and a confused teacher. So I say that everywhere I go. There is no dull child except a dull classroom and a confused teacher. So if a teacher is confused, you may not know that you are a confused teacher. So that is when you will not be able to get the values or the abilities of that child on. All right? So, and if I get into any classroom and I see how that classroom is, it tells me more and a lot about you.
The teacher.
So, if you are going to get some things done, you don't even need to put in too much effort on children learning. Just do what you are supposed to do in the class. The children will learn themselves. And that is why there is this learning that is called Montessori learning. So it helps to develop the children. So the teachers, I say it everywhere, that it's not just about teaching them numbers and letters. It's about the totality of the child. And you don't have much time. You just have just a year over every child that passes through you. So that means you must know what you want at the beginning. So
that is, set a goal
for yourself.
For the child.
And when these children come in, you must be able to know each and every one of them individually and know how to help them. Something must be beside you that you are writing, ticking every day as a teacher. Okay, what have I achieved in this? This is 4 weeks. Okay, what have I done with this particular person? Because they're not going to be the same. In education, we have something called personality. So every one of them cannot be the same. So what do you want to achieve with A? What are your goals for B? What are you going to achieve totally for all of them? So you must have that. So in doing that, there's no how you will not make a difference in every child. So that answers your question that you say, can a teacher have a totality of the child?
So what you're saying now is for every teacher, and I think this is even applicable to anyone that is in custody of any child, even as a parent, you have to monitor your child's progress. Maybe at the first stage, maybe the first month, you have a kind of goal. You set your goal. You have micro goals that, okay, within this month, I want this child to achieve this.
Yes.
It might not even be something big. Oh, I want my child to learn how to read. You are expecting your child to learn how to read letters or to read a storybook. How did you start with? Did you just start by just giving him a big book to be reading? As in start with step by step. So I think as a teacher, monitor the progress of your child. As within that 1 year, I like what you said, that set a goal for yourself and for that child. Okay, by the end of this term or this section, this child must have been able to achieve this. Not you now bring a report home at the end. I think it's a failure on the side of the teacher that, oh, this child has not really fine. That's why I was asking, that is it the fault of the teacher? Because a parent will say, why did I pay you? If I can teach my child how to read 1 to 10, I wouldn't be paying this huge amount for him to come to school. So that means you are a failure as a teacher yourself. Or what do you feel?
I want to talk a bit about this writing. First of all, I'm going to start with I've come to realize that the writing of a teacher also determines the teacher. I've seen a teacher write this.
It looks like doctors.
Okay, all right. You know, I've not even gone to this. That's your second question.
Yeah.
All right. Two things I will say about this. The first one is, let's thank God, because this result is about 1989. Are you getting me? So you can flash back how things were then. I'm sure this will not get out now, because this whoever writes this,
we accept a teacher writes.
so let's just thank God that this is 89. So we are talking about over a decade ago, and like that, and things that has really evolved. Are you getting me? So things has really evolved. Now you don't just even write things like this, or you write about the child. At times when I go through teachers' comments on some things in our school, I said, no, go and change this. Because you can't just write, oh, for instance, look at this. He cannot count 1 to 10. He's not going to count 1 to 10 if you have not done anything. So if I go to my child's school and you tell me that my child cannot do this, okay, my child cannot do this, I will ask you, what have you done? And I will ask you, what are we going to do? Because you are telling me the problem, but you have not proved, you have not supplied the solution to this. So you are giving me headache.
Yes.
Are you getting me? That's the first thing. Then the second thing is that we must consider the age of every child in the class. Before we start to say, okay, this is our yardstick or this is our goal. It is only in Nigerian schools that I see parents that their children are 2, 3. You want them to write everything? Excuse me. That is an absurd. So when your child is 3, yes, that child can start trying to write and write things.
I think somebody even said maybe you have brought that they don't allow a child to hold the pen until age 5.
Yes, there are schools in Canada that you don't even go to school until you're 5. I have friends here that have moved to Canada, and the children have started school here. When they got to Canada, they were not going to any school. So until you are 5,
child of 1 year, you will be wearing school.
so you keep your child at home. There was a
Mm.
time a parent came to our school and said, my friend's children that went to that other school, they are writing. I said, your child is not going to write here. So you better take that child to go and join them there, because your child is not going to write here. Your child is not ready to write. So why are you forcing that child to write? Now, I saw this comment and I was laughing that the child cannot read letters. You are not supposed to even read letters. All right? He cannot read letters. Why will you read letters? You can only master the sounds of those letters. So you are not supposed to read the letters, number one. Then you are saying that,
and that child should be like under 5, because a nursery 1 child should be like maybe under 5.
and if
5
nursery 1
below,
of this age should be maybe 3 plus 4.
3 plus 4, yeah, as a then.
So you don't expect so much from these children, and you keep comparing them. That's why you keep putting pressure on them. And then the children, you are turning them to adults by force, by fire. Okay, when the child knows 1 to 1,000, what will you do with it at that age?
maybe they believe that will prove, it's where maybe comparison comes in. Like you said, maybe somebody will say, other people's, my friends' children are already writing 1 to 10. Maybe by the time a parent start comparing that, my child is not as intelligent. They measure the intelligence of a child by what another child can do. Even among siblings. I told you what happened. We had this scene that one of my children's teacher was comparing the younger one to the older one. I just noticed that the boy started withdrawing from school. He didn't want to go to school, and I noticed and I asked him, what happened? Why don't you love, as in, I think a child should be excited to go to school. And I asked him, and he said, my teacher always complain about me. He always tell me that I'm giving her problem. He always tell him that I'm giving her problem more than the older brother, because the brother passed through the same teacher too. If I had to go to the proprietress and I went straight to her, I say, what's happening here? Is this the right thing for the teacher to be saying to a child? And I just complained, and I said, this is then I just finished my certificate in counseling, and I was like, did your teacher even go through any professional training? As how can a teacher be doing all this? I was just bragging, and the woman was just apologizing, but that is the reality. You understand? By the time you start comparing one child to the other siblings, and you are, indirectly you are killing the vibe of that child. You are killing the self-esteem of that child. You are making him feel like, if I'm not my brother, if I'm not like my brother, then I'm not enough.
I'm nothing.
You understand? So I think that starts from comparison, from parents to children, then from teachers to pupils. Some teachers, they have favorite.
Yeah.
Yes.
Favorite, maybe they believe, or the best student in the class, they are the one that you send error, giving them headache. So I think our teachers should be educated with all these things, how to relate. I think that's what really wants people to really learn. People that are in the educational sectors, as in how they can improve to help discover the strength in every child. You made a statement the other time that every child has their unique strength or something like that, that we should help them to discover their strength.
Yeah.
So I think let's talk about that. How can teachers, parents help children to find out strengths in every child?
Thank you. You see, let me take it from parents.
Okay.
Now, you cannot have the same personalities in all these children. You cannot. So the best thing for you is to just know this person for who this person is and try to manage that person. And the way you relate with A will be the different way from B, because you know the level, the strength in B, and you are helping that child. Like I said, no dull child, except a confused trainer. The trainer too can be a mother or a father.
Confused parents too.
Confused parents. That you see that one of your children is very good and the second one is struggling, and you say, can't you be like your sister? Want to look at her? This is that, and you are shutting what that child has. It's not everybody that will be able to perform to the extent that this one is performing. But what this one is doing, how have you supported her? How have you helped her? Some children just need a little push, and don't forget that they are growing. Like I said the other time, this teacher was wrong to say he cannot count. That means you have said the totality of that child. He cannot. And what if tomorrow that child begins to count?
In fact, this
it will negate what you have said.
Let me just give you, I think, briefly the testimony of this person that wrote this thing. He's one of the top photographers in Lagos. He's doing very well. You know, he wrote something. Let me see if I can write what he wrote, because you know, for him to bring this out now, I know then he said a lot of them. Just really briefly, so that we can just understand the aftermath, so that the child you despise now, you don't know what that child will become tomorrow. And I'm sure that this guy, if he sees that teacher, if he still remembers, he will look at her and will be like, "Shey you, you that you looked down on me there." And likewise, he said, in childhood, my teacher saw obstacles where she ought to have seen the seeds of potential. Speech issues, a distaste for letters and numbers, and a lack of interest in painting mask my true strength within me. Yet, in the rhythm of poems, I found my voice. It was said that the only thing he could do was to recite poems. You understand? I said, today I'm an artist in many fields and a writer who weaves words into hearts. As a child, I had so many images running in my mind that are more interesting than what I was presented in school. I wanted true emotion and not a rigid stand up and a recite in class. I was labeled timid at some point. It wasn't easy for me to play with other kids, except I found one that is like me. I'm just remembering my son with this year, as in David. You know, a lot of time I notice I was like, I don't have friends. Everybody hates me. I do. They don't like me. Somebody said my face is weird. I said, you this handsome boy. Hey, well, that you know, I always encourage you because anytime he calls, I will tell him that I don't have friends. See. He will tell me that somebody bullies them. See, they are jealous of you because you are too smart. You are smarter, you know. I just had to be giving him that courage.
Yes.
So I could really feel what this guy was feeling, because if a child doesn't have that support at home, that child will withdraw to himself, will believe that, he's not good enough, he's not smart, he's not intelligent. Let me just continue. He said, it wasn't easy for me to play with other kids, except I found one that is like me. I knew what connection meant in my early years. My journey is proof that sometimes our hidden talents bloom beyond the confines of early perceptions. Everyone knew I was different, and some people took advantage of me by asking if my opinion to certain issues, because they are certain my perspective is mostly different. My dark side makes me different, and I can only relate with people that can hit or match that dark side of me. And he said, my mom gave this to me a lot, and I said, whose report will you believe?
That's what I'm trying to say. So the role of parents first. Don't forget that child is still your child. So the role of parents goes a long way in building confidence and encouragement in children. Parents first, because the children will be with you before you send them to school. And to teachers, you know, one of the things I keep saying in schools, those children are there for you to mold them. And you can do that for that 1 year that they have with you. Who even tells you that you have up to a year? You don't know what can happen. Like some relocate and jackpot today. So you are thinking you have a year. You don't have a year. So what you have to do it quick.
No.
Whatever things you want to achieve in children. And there's no point, comparing children to each other in class. You can never have the same set of children. So you just look at their strengths and put them, like when I was in class, everyone is a leader. In schools, they will always tell us to have class rules. So one of the things I will put there that everyone is a leader. So I look at you, for instance, if I see that you are a timid one, you don't like mixing up, then I put you in charge of people's books. So there's no how you will not relate. So when it is time for mathematics, for instance, you will be the one to give everybody their books. You will be the one to be, this person may be in charge of pencils and erasers. So you are doing something, you are communicating, you are relating with others. And it takes people that have this understanding to be able to achieve such in children. Are you getting what I'm saying? Because if you don't have that at the back of your mind, there are some that are outspoken, there are some that are, everywhere. You just keep getting along with those ones. And one way or the other, you neglect those that are timid, those that are not outspoken, those that are shy, you neglect them. And it is not that it is intentional, but somehow, because these ones that are everywhere, they catch your attention. But you must be able to carry everyone along. So it is, and then the words we use are powerful. Look at this now. He cannot. He does not. He did not. He cannot. Those are the things we see in this. That's not a report. That's not even an assessment.
Sorry. So what's now? Sorry, before you come in, what can such a teacher do? How would he or she have put it better?
Okay. Let me take one of these things that person wrote and see. Okay, let's look at this. He cannot count 1 to 10.
Okay. But
Maybe
the child cannot count it from you. So how do you now put it in the
truly, and I want to believe that this child may not be able to count straight 1 to 10. That's what she's trying to say.
Yeah.
But it's not as if she will not be able to count any numbers.
Okay.
Or you can't talk.
Are you getting me? The child might be skipping some numbers. Maybe 1, 2, 4, 3, like that. So that doesn't mean she cannot count. But when you say you cannot articulate, that's a different word. Are you getting me now? So what could have been written, or what I would have written is maybe is learning to do this. We are working on him achieving this. Those are words that, when you see that, that, okay, there are still areas that the child can still develop, but not that he cannot or is not
So
doing
choice
that.
of words, your choice of
Are you
words
getting me?
matters.
So
a lot,
if you say that this child is still, we are still working with him to be able to count 1 to 10, that is a work in progress. We are not relenting, even though the child cannot do it, but we are still working at it. I think that's a better one
Better
than
way,
he
okay.
cannot. When a parent says we are working on him to do this, or he's still in progress trying to do this,
the parent will know that, okay, that's a deficiency for
Are you
the
getting
child.
my
Okay,
point?
all right. Thank
So-
you very much, ma. Okay, you're both saying something.
Yes, I want to talk about the place of how do we help schools
okay,
and teachers. You see this report that we're seeing now. That was the way they were writing reports then.
yes.
You remember, I've taught before, your head teacher will tell the parents what the child cannot do. Because I remember when we used to write reports, we would give that assessment. It cannot write, but the teachers didn't see it as anything then. Am I right?
Yes,
Then,
you are. Yes,
then.
you are right.
So I'm saying that what's the place of schools
Okay,
and teachers in training
all right.
and progressing, in the sense that somehow the teachers is confined to what the school said I should do.
Okay.
There's a place of school, the place of the teacher personally developing herself
Okay,
for the child that he or she is training,
Okay.
and the place of the parents.
okay,
So how are these three people in the life of a child, the school, the teacher, the parents, able to develop themselves to suit and help the child to become the better person they are going to be in future?
okay. Permit me to say this. I went to a school around Abulegba because I saw that the children were coming to register to enroll in our school. And when they mentioned that they are from this school in their interview, I was wondering, they pay higher than we do? And then, why are they coming? So one day, I went to the school just to say maybe I want to make an inquiry. But by the time I went through the classes, I was asking myself if the owner was alive. But fortunately, I met a woman. And you know, I asked 1 or 2 questions that, okay, if I enroll my child here, this, that, she was blank. All right, so I knew within me that this person doesn't know jack about school, but probably the money was there and she was able to set up a school. There's nothing wrong with that if you have that money and you want to invest in school. But for heaven's sake, please, it will be nicer if you have employed somebody in the education sector to be able to run the school on your behalf. Are you getting me? So we see a lot of schools today that both the school owners don't even know what they are doing. And then you have children that you are raising in that school. So that's where the problem comes. When the school owner does not even know what is what. So how do you want to encourage or talk to such person? Are you getting me? There's another school now that I want to see if I can work with them. The owner is abroad. Okay. So you see that they employ a facilitator today to run the school, to manage the school. After 3 months or maybe 2 weeks, 2 months, that person is gone. They employ another person. So who is going to help you to put things right? Because what you came to do, you have not even achieved that. And then you are going, another person is coming. I don't know the reason why they are going, but it tells me there's a problem there. And then we have children there. I personally know a teacher that said, after this term, I'm not resuming there again. Okay, so that's a problem again. And that's why I keep telling parents, it goes beyond, oh, this school is beautiful, I want to register my child there. It goes beyond, oh, it's close to my house. Those are wrong reasons for registering your child in a school. The school is close to my house. The school is, the fee is high. I want the class thing. No, those are wrong reasons. Are you getting what I'm saying? So how do we do this? Your teachers have to be trained and trained and trained and trained and trained again and again and again and again. Training means whatever they have known before, you are reminding them so that they put it to work. And in the course of that, maybe things they have not known, they come across it and they will be able to take that and put it in action.
And
that is just
updating.
That is just what training is about. So what you don't want, you keep training them so that you can remove that and they can learn and relearn. Learning doesn't stop. So don't say that we did training last year. No, you keep doing training and training and training so that by the time they see things that they are supposed to do. In our school, for instance, you don't just write, this child cannot do this. Or before you because every 2 weeks, there is something called a report, an assessment over that child. So we go through it to see, okay, if this child cannot do this by now, that is for us in-house to assess. Okay, what are you doing about this? And what are your plans to make this child do this before 3 weeks, before 4th week? So every teacher is on their toe to get things done. If there are no materials, you must improvise. Are you getting me? Yeah, you must improvise. So training and training and retraining is the answer to that. And we do parents training. So if you are a parent in our school, you must have come for training maybe once before that year runs out. Because in that training, we will make you to see what your child is going to go through and you must be part of it. You must be part of it. Yeah, so, because we started having issues with when we teach children something, they get home, they change it for them and teach them something else. So when they come back, the children are confused. Then I decided, okay, we must be having parents training. So we will invite parents and we'll have notified them, this day you must be there for the training. So we train you ahead to say, okay, especially in the early years, this is how this is this is why this is this. So we're on the same page, on the same pedestal. And we let you know, these are the things that are obtainable at this age. If you say you want more than that, you can go somewhere else. There are plenty of schools around. So training, not only teachers, but even parents, they must be trained. Because some parents will just come and tell you, I called the parents recently. He said the parent said, my child is not going to be participating in this, that. I called for the parent. I said, maybe you skipped it in our school, whatever. You know, everything here, we do it together. If you are not doing, you can as well leave. But here, we do everything together. So you don't have an option.
I think I love the core values of your school. You are not just after the money. Oh, let's make money. Like you said. I like the fact you said that. Okay, you have a teamwork with the parents and the pupils, so that you can balance things up. And these children, they have the way of believing what their teachers teach them. Because I've had that argument with my son.
When this early stage, I've had children say, my teacher said you write a stroke and a curve, and mommy will say no. Write 1 and C, writing G, you understand?
There was a time I was having a child, and the child said, my mommy said, I said, keep what your mommy said to yourself in the house. This is class. And then you do what I say in the class. Your mommy is at home. You keep whatever she says at home. So when you get home, and then the mom called me and said, maybe you should do a video of how you are teaching the child this song. And because anything we say, the child will say, my mommy said. I said, okay.
I think we need to be updated as a teacher, updated as a teacher, updated as a parent. Because the way we were raised, the way we were taught in our own days, you can't teach a child of this Gen Z that child.
Do abacus.
Abacus. My mom was asking of me. Maybe they are,
I know mental song, but no, not abacus.
All right, thank you very much. So, that's why I was talking about the place of the parents and the teacher. The two of them work together as a team. And I was rightly saying that, okay, the way we were taught, the way we were groomed, the way we were disciplined in those days, you can't compare with the way you discipline children or you train children of these days. So you must update yourself as a parent, as a teacher, as a school owner. And I think at the same time, parents too should be able to don't hold back and say, oh, I'm looking for a cheap school for my child, with their child, because I know that some teachers are underpaid.
Yes.
To be honest, they are underpaid. So when they call the school fees, try as much as possible. You are giving your child the first. Why are you taking your child to school? Why didn't you homeschool that child? It's because you don't have the time. You want to go and make money. So make the money and pay for the best for your child. You understand? I think very quickly we were still talking about how to harness the goal, the strength in a child. Very quickly, I want us to talk about ADHD in a child. That's attention deficiency. You see some people say, my child is hyperactive. My child cannot just sit in one place. I want us to quickly talk about that, because some parents, they might see it in another video. Say, that child might be possessed. I'll be taking that child to MFM. You understand? So let's quickly enlighten parents and some teachers that are not aware of ADHD in children.
All right, this ADHD, I would like parents to just Google it actually. Yeah. So when you say a child is hyperactive, a child is this, ordinarily in every child, 0 to 5, the attention span is very, very small, very, very low. So you don't expect a child to have a long attention span. That's why everything they do, even in classes, if you look at their timetable, the time fixed for every subject or everything will be very, very short. Because as we have been sitting now, you can't tell a child to sit like this for this time that we've sat. No, the child wants to go, child wants to move, they have that adrenaline in them. So what happens, and how do we control that? To be able to do that, we know how to achieve that in classes. But when they go to churches, I hear people too, I've gone to churches to enlighten children teachers and all that. So at times, it could be balloon. At times, it could be little sweets. At times, it could be little thing. At times, it could be crayon. At times, it could even have pictures of them. I say, okay, this picture, I'm going to put it up. If you sit down to do this, and then you help that child, because you know that there's a goal. Your picture will be up that you did this and did this, when you are able to achieve this task. So the child wants that. So you'll be able to come. You know what each child likes. And from there, you are able to catch their attention. You understand that?
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. That's attention deficit hyperactive disorder in a child.
I want to say that how can we help a child maybe discover the potential? Children that have that, because it's not like that thing is going to throw them off their balance growing up in life. So how can a parent see that my child that is always talking, what's the potential in that child? My child that is always drawing on the wall, that will write on all my walls, that will tear my paper. My son will always share every jotter to do comic, and it relates with his friends. Sorry, David, they be like, I want to draw comic. I want to draw this. I want to fold this. So how can we help? Sometimes I shout, why are you tearing all my jotters? So how are we able to help children like that, to navigate that through their talents?
I've been punished in class because she was singing.
Okay.
And the teacher said, "Are you a nightingale? You sing too much." And then she was punished, you know. And today, just last 10, the dad got her a guitar. That, okay, this is your strength. You like to sing. If you are beating her, you'll be singing. So now we are doing things that can help her to be able to manage that and become whatever she wants to be. All right. So I said I will be taking her to a music school, time and all that. So what I'm trying to say is that just look at what that child wants to do. Look at what that child is doing and encourage the child more. But you can tell the child, don't write on the wall. Give the child, we go to parties, they give us jotter because we want something. Give the child to be doing. In fact, when they make paper boats, I help them to buy a basket and put it inside and say, okay, make more. So that when it rains, at times you can even put them and then we'll see, oh, this one day you will make something that will help us to travel far. Are you getting what I'm saying? So just encourage them like that. You'll be shocked that some of them, even growing up, they may drop those things and face other things.
Sure.
Are you getting me? But at that point, that's what you want to do. And let them do it. You know, counting, reading, things can come from that. You can correct, and somebody was saying that a child talks too much. I said, no, don't ever say that. Especially when they are between the ages of 0 to 6. At that time, you correct their tenses, you correct their vocabulary, you correct a lot of things, their pronunciation, everything about it. Say, oh, what did you say? You don't say it like that. This is how to say it. And that child will get it.
Wow.
Okay.
Thank you very much. That reminds me of this movie. I don't know if you've seen the movie, like a Star on Heart. This India movie.
Yes, I watched
of a young boy that could not read.
Yes, I watched
it was later discovered that he has this
speech.
This disorder.
Speech disorder.
Dyslexia.
Okay, yes.
So her ability to, some people as in, they read backward. They can't
Yes. Okay. Yes.
I discovered something that, it's not until when your child is getting A's in math and English,
exactly.
Intelligent. About other subjects. Could it be good at heart? Could it be good at singing, like you rightly said? So don't ever think maybe because my child is not getting A in mathematics. That boy, it was later that it was discovered anytime they are teaching in class, he might not be able to read normally as other students, but he could draw. And a teacher now discovered that skill in him and harness that gift in him. So, as a teacher, as a parent, if your parent is not good in one subject, try and see other areas where that child is good at and help that child bring up the skill. Do everything. Gone are the days that parents will say, I don't want my child to be a dancer, I don't want my child to be a footballer. But now, it is even your parent that will tell you, you to go and play football. You understand? You understand? Things have really changed, actually, and really, that's why I said we have to really.
We are blessed in this generation.
Yes.
The coming of technology has helped with a lot of things.
Yes.
So you cannot say this child is not good in mathematics, is not good in this. Whatever that child is good at, just check the internet. You see places that are close to you.
Yes, so you can.
There was a child in our school then. Now he's in UK. Tare Bumi. This, as you are sitting, he will start drawing.
Wow.
And he will paint it and everything.
Wow.
The mother noticed that. I don't know the school around, the particular drawing school that they kept sending this child to. And he kept getting better and better. Are you getting it? So there's nothing we see in our children now that we cannot achieve.
Okay, I think I once taught a child that was not good in reading or writing at all. A very small boy. The school was complaining, the head teacher was complaining, the boy would cry, they would beat him. One day, I had to call the father and said, "You're into music, you play all instruments. How do you expect this boy to be good in other subjects? He's very good in music. He likes music. Why didn't you just allow this boy to grow?" Today, I'm telling you, the father has taken him abroad. I don't know what he's doing right now. I won't lie. But the father had to come and thank me later and say, "Thank you so much for what you said." Because your child sometimes is you. We cannot produce something that is not you. Some of our children pick from us. But we are not able to see it because we have forgotten that we also went through that challenge growing up. But want a perfect adult, want to form, like you said, form an adult from a child and not seeing through that they are actually going through a process. Understand?
Finally, before I just hear final word. I think parents should also go for, there's this thing they call open day.
Yes,
It's very
yes,
important.
very
My husband
important.
and I went for our son's open day, and we had to ask questions because when we saw the result, okay, this you did well here, you didn't do well here. Why didn't you do right here? We started questioning some things, and the dad had to be asking that, okay, in fact, it was even some of the classmates were saying, oh, David does not make friends in school. He doesn't like, and he has always tell me that, but nobody wants to be my friend. And I was like, I'm hearing different things. They say they want to make friends with you. So, and his father said, see, you must make friends with him by force. So we decided to learn to ask questions about him. Okay, how does he relate? Social life. They told us that, oh, the only thing he likes to do in class is to draw anime and the likes. And, so go to school, go to your child's school before then, for that open day, create time. Don't say you are too busy for your child to
exactly.
do in school. So it's very important for parents. So final words for before you go, ma.
Like I do say in all of my trainings, there is no dull child. Never. God did not create some people dull, some people wise. No. But a confused trainer and a dull environment. So every child
produce a confused child too.
Yes, every child can become a best. Like you said, your child now, even if the teacher wants to help, the teacher can say, okay, you have drawn, okay, draw so, and let's talk about that person. Before you know it, the person will pick interest. And he might, that is not mixing up, may see one or two things that, this guy is too outspoken for me, for my life. But before you know it, by the time that togetherness is there, the child will learn and become a better person.
Wow. Thank you very much. Honestly, this is very, very insightful. I really appreciate your time out with us.
Thank you for having me.
If you call you on again next time, we'll be glad to be here.
Anytime.
Yes. The name of your school again?
Core Values Foundation.
It's really speaking the name. Thank you very much.
I like your core values. Thank you.
I know you too. I know this is your strength.
I'm always passionate about when I sit down into education. I love it. I'm doing a good job. Investing into the future.
So please, do you have any social media, Andrew? Can reach you?
Yes, we have
On your school, right?
for my school. Yes, Core Values Foundation
Foundation School on Instagram or Facebook.
on Facebook.
Okay. All right. Thank you. They will reach out to you. But if you want to reach out to her, just reach out to me. Then I will link you up to her. Well, this is where we're going to wrap it up on Just a Chat today. Thank you, Lady Avalon, for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Fawole, for coming. And to our audience, thank you for watching us always. And do well to subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Like this video, share it, and drop your own comment too. Until we call your way again next time for another interesting episode of Just a Chat with Bunmi Alabi. It's me saying, have an amazing weekend. Bye.